Well, how you doing? This is probably the second episode in the show of Let's Ponder. As you can see, I'm going to be self-adjusting here a little bit. But, you know, this little episode on the internet has been just for us to get a general synopsis of how we feel. And, you know, just give us something to talk about. Like I said, I'm still adjusting here, so please bear with me a little. And just trying to get everything straightened out here. One of the things we want to talk about this morning, or this afternoon, well, first of all, if you hear anything in the background, it's directly attributed to that major hurricane-type storm we have blowing around outside today. You know, I've drove around the town earlier and I've seen a few trees down, no serious damage. So, you know, one of the most wonderful things about the people and the land that I live here in Cape Breton Island up in Nova Scotia is the fact that, you know, the trees and, you know, we're resilient to hurricanes. You know, somebody says a hurricane hits Florida and, you know, it's a big thing. You know, we probably get 4 or 5 hurricanes here a year, only we call them nor'easters. And, you know, nothing really happens. We get dumped on with a big pile of snow. Luckily, there's no snow in the storm. But anyway, you know, this is one of the shows that I really don't want to, you know, really step on anybody's toes. But you know, if I can bring a separate view to light, then that's a good thing. You know, having watched Glenn Beck for years, I was like, nobody has the attributes, or no one has the voice to bring our local stuff to the internet, except for Frankie, of course. You know, Frankie only does weather, I think. So, you know, finally I've actually got people sitting here in the studio audience watching this. So anyway, one of the things we want to talk about today is I'm pretty happy. You know, when I first moved here 20 years ago, and I seen this man walking up downtown with a sign that says "Justice for Clayton," and you know, for years I didn't really understand why he was doing it, but one of my friends, Mary, she said years ago, she said, here's the reason why. And, you know, I accepted the fact that somebody had done something wrong here. You know, into this day, we still don't know who did wrong, but we know someone did something wrong. It may have been the police, it may have been the EMTs, it may have been somebody, but we do know somebody did something wrong that caused this young man's life. And you know, I was happy to read the other day in the Cape Breton Post that the Minister of Justice is now engaged in an investigation into why this young man died. And you know, it breaks our heart when lives are lost at such young age. And you know, and we really look at it as being negligent because somebody didn't do something. If this was all about covering something up, I'd be so ashamed of living in this town. It would be unbelievable. And you know, that's one of the things that I'm pretty proud of, that something is finally getting done with that case, because there is a lot of unanswered questions. And you know, I really don't want to go into detail, because even though I know some of the details, I don't know all the details, and that may be wrong for me to go take one side or the other side until the investigation is complete by the Department of Justice. But I really hope they find out the truth and that it gets resolved as soon as possible. You know, one of the things, that's one topic that I just wanted to go through right quickly. You know, one of the things I was looking at today in the national news, and by the way, you'll notice I look at my teleprompter here, and in the National Post today, I was reading a headline that says, ISIS urges jihadists to attack Canadians. And the statement was, you will not feel secure in your own bedrooms. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I feel pretty damn secure in my bedroom. You know, if ISIS wants to come to my property and make me feel insecure, come on. I'm all over that one. You know, I'm okay with it. You know, and I'll be honest with you, everybody should be prepared. We are on the verge of a major conflict. We don't know who these people are. We know they're Islamic, we know they're militant, and we know they could live next door to us. Because these people are recruiting students, whether foreign exchange students that come over here to learn, or you know, students of our own society that just want something to cling on to, or want a family to be a part of. And you know, these radical Islamic militants are actually, you know, brainwashing these children or brainwashing these young adults into believing that they have something to offer. You know, not much unlike the Vietnam War, when the U.S. government brainwashed a whole lot of young soldiers that to believe that they were fighting for right. And you know, I still believe that, you know, when the government says jump, if you're in the military, you should say how high. And I've done it many times. But, you know, getting back to that, the children nowadays are looking for something to grab onto. They're looking for that one thing that's going to provide them a family, a scope, a meaning in life. And if that means joining a bunch of Islamic radicals, then that's probably it. But you know, like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's on the grounds of Syria or Iran or Iraq or Scotchtown. I don't give a damn. You know, you want to take away my freedoms, or you want to impact my life where I can't go to the French club and have a beer? Well, guess what? I don't mind cutting off your fingers or arms or legs, so you won't be able to do that. And if you persist in interfering with my free life, I will cut your head off. Because I will not tolerate, nor will anybody else tolerate, people that want to take away our freedoms. You want to inflict terror on me? You want to threaten me? That's fine. But it's going to come with the fact that, you know, my shields are up. You've already taken buildings down in the U.S. at 9/11. You know, you've been attacking us all over the place. Now you're threatening to attack us in our own bedrooms, according to the National Post. Then guess what? I have no problem with it. Now, bear in mind, I've got a buddy that lives in Newfoundland and goes, well, if he's going to attack my bedroom, I better be in Alberta. And I'm thinking, that was pretty bad. He's leaving his wife to defend his bedroom. I know this guy is bad. Anyway, that's just one of the things that, you know, I find very, very perturbing. That, you know, if you're going to threaten us, you know, we're there. We're all over that. We're free and we're Canadian and we're going to fight back. And we're going to fight back with a vengeance. And if you think radical Muslim Islam is bad, deprive me of a beer on Friday night. You ain't got a chance in hell, buddy. So that's that. Now, what about the latest in the news today? Can you remember back in the 80s, there was a video game company. A video game company called Activision. Activision is the company that invented Call of Duty. And they've just hired ex-New York mayor to fight a lawsuit filed against them from Manuel Noriega. Do you remember Manuel Noriega? Manuel Noriega, the former president of Panama. So apparently, I don't know the details of this lawsuit, but just think of it. Here is a former dictator of a major terrorist country or drug-infested country that has been convicted of many, many bad crimes against us, and now he's suing one of our companies for portraying those bad crimes on a video game. Oh well. Maybe the Colombians stopped his his paycheck, for all I know. He probably needs to get revenue somewhere, I suppose. And that's not good. So, and why would a former the last time I checked, and I could be wrong on this, so please don't beat me up. But the last time I checked, wasn't Manuel Noriega in a U.S. federal prison? Like in Louisiana somewhere? Or Florida? What, did he just get sick of playing golf all day long? Really? So, and I turned around and I was in shock when I heard that today. And then I was just reading on the news, just briefly, that, it saddens me that when we had this ice bucket challenge, and I swore I would never take this ice bucket challenge, but I did, based on the fact that I wanted to challenge ALS. I wanted to challenge ALS to contribute 80% of all the money they've taken in on this ice bucket challenge to research and development. Do you know that less than 10% of all the money they've collected goes to research and development? And that's bad. That's really bad. Like 30% goes to raise more money, 20% goes to line their pockets. That's 50% right there, and then there's another 30% goes to administration. And then there's some miscellaneous expenses. So you're down under 10% before you actually see a dollar into research and development. Now just think of it. They've probably got to build wings to hospitals and everything else. But this is my take on it, and that's why I think when I donated my $100, I think I donated it to the leading researcher at ALS over at the University of Manitoba. Here's the deal. And this is right from me, and you'll hear it from me, and it's the God's, I can't say the God's honest truth, because, I got people who watch this that don't believe in God. Right, David? You know more about the Bible than anybody I know, but you don't believe in God. But that's fine. And that's getting back to what I spoke about earlier. Freedom, that he is affording himself the freedom that we have. And that freedom is you have freedom of religion. And you have freedom of speech, and that's what this is. But as I was saying, getting to these charitable organizations, if I'm a charitable organization, and 30% of the money, 30 cents to every dollar I take in goes to raise more money. 20% to 30% goes to salaries. Another 20% goes to infrastructure, which is, websites and maybe building wings and opening new offices and stuff like that. And then there's another 10% goes to miscellaneous expenses. I think, as I have read the Canadian Cancer Society's statement of fact or financial statements. And then you got 10% that actually goes into research. Okay, here's what I'm saying to you. We are all smart and logical people. Charities do not want to cure illnesses. Think about it. That is my statement. Charitable societies do not want to cure illnesses. If you want to cure an illness, you give the money to the leading researcher in that illness. If you donate money to a charitable association or society, they're going to use that money to raise more money, to do other things. Here is the deal. If a charity takes 80% of all the money they take in and actually put it into research and development, for example, ALS, and oops, 6 to 8 months later, ALS is cured. If ALS gets cured, we don't have any money. If ALS gets cured, we're out of work. We can't draw a $250,000 to $300,000 salary anymore. Out of work. No more $100 million ice bucket challenges. The thing gets cured. So societies do not want to cure diseases. Scientists want to cure diseases. The problem is, the societies do not give the scientists the amount of money they need to cure the illness, or the sickness, or the disease. Think about it. Think about it. We're not stupid individuals, right? We're not stupid individuals. We can see this. But yet we still give ALS $100 million. If I was president of ALS right now, I'd be going, got my eyes on that nice new Mercedes. Really. Not only am I going to buy that Mercedes, but that 100-foot yacht over there looks good too. And by the way, while you're at it, can I have that Gulfstream 770 jet? I have $100 million and I'm allowed to spend 30 to 40% of it on me. Oh, by the way, if I dumped a bucket of water over my head and said it was the Neil Rideout Ice Bucket Challenge, would anybody give me $100? $100 million? Probably not. Listen, how about if I said to you, I promise to cure brain farts? Brain farts. Think of it. Would you dump a bucket of water over your head and give me money to cure brain farts? What a life we live. What a society we live in. You know, one of those freedoms that I talked about earlier, you know, freedom of life, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to give money to those people who want to spend it any way they want. Okay, if you want to give anybody money, I'm okay, because you give it to me. That works. At least I'll find a researcher somewhere that could use it. Anyway, I don't want this to drag on very much longer. It's just one of those days that I'm all over the place with pondering today. And but again, if you want to throw a bucket of water over your head, it could be ice water, it could be, hey, listen, better yet, throw a bucket of beer over, don't go waste some beer. I got my friend over here going, no, Neil, no, not with the beer, no, stay away from the beer. Don't even bring beer up because, beer is getting too scarce to go dumping over someone's head. But if you want to paint a butterfly and send it to me with a $100 check, I try to probably find a place to put it better than in the linings of some rich guy's pockets. And then we'll definitely cure some diseases. It's very easy to cure diseases. My friend Frank Miles once told me, he said, $10 to $20 million, you can cure any disease on the planet. He said, $10 to $20 million, a decent research lab, keep the pharmaceutical companies out of your hair. Yeah, you can cure any disease on the planet. I'm a scientist in the computer industry, and I'm not in the medical field. But when it comes to Dr. Frank Miles, I firmly believe he's right. Because he is one of my trusted intellectuals on this planet. And, he was there for me when I really needed, a boost in life to say, this is what you are because you are, this mentally capable to do it. So, hats off to Dr. Frank Miles then in Tampa, Florida. And every chance I get, I'm going to mention Frank because, I'm at a time in my life where I look back at all the heroes that got me to where I'm to today. And, I'm not wealthy by no means. But you know, when you measure that in terms of friends and everything else, I'm as rich as I ever want to be. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna call it a day, and thanks for watching. Hey, and maybe we can start doing this on a more regular basis. You know, providing I can get everything together here. Anyway, have fun. This is Let's Ponder. I'm Neil Rideout, and have a great day.